Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2017 Western stroke documentary stroke found footage film Tombstone Rashomon. Now this is a film that was written and directed by Alex Cox, and if that name sounds familiar, this is the director who brought things to the screen like Repo Man and Sid and Nancy, so it comes with a bit of pedigree, this director. And it stars Adam Newbury, Jessie Lee Panaco, Christine Doidge, Eric Schumacher, Bernie Lee Kennedy, Richard Anderson and Jason Graham. Now this is a film that attempts to tell the story of the gunfight at the OK Corral, but in the style of a Rashomon, if you like. It does it from a few different perspectives. Now this film, straight from the beginning, asks you to suspend your disbelief, if you like, because we are meant to believe that a crew of time-travelling documentarians have headed back to this time in the Old West to interview, or basically to document what happens at the gunfight at the OK Corral. So essentially what we get here is a film crew interviewing everybody involved with the gunfight at the OK Corral, strewn together with clips of the event itself and things surrounding that event. It's quite a difficult film to explain, this one, but that's essentially where it's going. Right, so what is my thoughts on Tombstone Rashomon? Now I'm a big fan of A, westerns, and B, this story itself. Pretty much my favourite western of all time is Tombstone, the Kurt Russell film. I just think it's a masterpiece, that film, and I think it tells the Wyatt Earp story really well. It's really fantastically done. So I'm familiar with the events in this film, but I think what this film does that is very unique is it does try and tell it from a few different perspectives, not just the perspective of Wyatt Earp and the Earps, but also the perspective of Sheriff Behan, the sheriff of Tombstone, as well as members of the Cowboys gang, if you like, Ike Clanton and others. So you get all these people telling the same story from different perspectives. So you don't just get the black and white good guys, bad guys here. It blurs the lines quite successfully, I would suggest, this film, and it doesn't present anybody as heroic really, or anybody as particularly villainous, and I think that is its biggest success, this film. Now this film clearly has been done on a small budget, and that is clear to see. It's almost at times when you watch it, it feels like the actors are wearing costumes. Basically, it doesn't have a layer of authenticity that a bigger production obviously would bring to the table. However, I think everybody plays their parts particularly well. I did get the impression at times that some of them were almost doing impressions. For example, the character playing Doc Holliday almost felt like he was trying to tap into his inner Val Kilmer, or his inner I don't know. It just felt like at times they were doing impressions of characters in films that they'd seen previously. And even some of the lines, I'm guessing, I don't know because I'm not a historian. My understanding is that the events in the film Tombstone, the Kurt Russell one, were fairly accurate in regards to what happened at that time, even though it presented the Wyatt Earp and the Earps as more heroic. So lines that were said in that film might have actually been said. So there's lines mentioned in this film that are mentioned in Tombstone from Doc Holliday, like where he says you're a daisy if you do. That could have been an historical line that he actually said, or they could have ripped that straight from the film. I don't know because I'm not a historian. So this film could be it feels like it's trying very much to be historically accurate, but at the same time it also feels like it's ripping off things that have come before. And it's hard really to distinguish between the two, because you don't want to watch a film and then research for hours after if Doc Holliday actually said this, or Wyatt Earp actually said that, or this actually happened, or that actually happened. So I don't think it necessarily does enough to stand apart from stories that have come before, when it's reenacting things that happened. We all know the story. We all know that the Earps went down there to disarm the cowboy gang, and then it all kicked off, so to speak. However, I do appreciate this is a real interesting take on the story. It has tried to do something different. I think fans of westerns, and Wyatt Earp in particular, would find this film interesting because it does try and do something different. It tells the story from a lot of different perspectives. However, you've got to suspend your disbelief because it never really addresses the fact that there's a interview crew. They're interviewing everybody, and they all seem particularly comfortable to sit down in front of this interview crew and the cameras to discuss everything that happened. Even though there wouldn't have been any power back then to power the cameras and things like that. So you really do have to suspend your disbelief here in regards to that. But I do appreciate its attempt to be different, so I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 for that reason. And yeah, I think it is certainly an interesting project. So that is my review for Tombstone Rashomon. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found it useful. I'll see you back for more content on Screen Stars very, very soon.